Welcome to my channel. Now listen to me very carefully, because what I'm about to tell you might sound small, almost boring, but honestly, it's destroying your English without you even realizing it. Let me ask you something. How many English words have you learned in your life? And how many can you actually use today? Think about that for a second. You watch videos, you read posts, you hear new words every day, but somehow they disappear, gone, vanished. And you start thinking, my memory is bad, English is hard, maybe I'm not made for this. But guess what? The problem is not your brain. The problem is how you note your words. And if you fix this one habit, just this one, your English will start growing faster than you ever imagined. Stay with me till the end, because this video can completely change the way you learn English forever. Chapter 1. Now, let me tell you something very important. And please listen slowly, okay? Because this part decides everything. Most English learners forget words not because English is hard, not because their memory is weak, and honestly, not because they are lazy. No. They forget words because they were taught English in a broken way. A very broken way. And nobody ever told them the truth. You see, from the first day you start learning English, you are told to collect words, write words, memorize words, fill notebooks, fill pages, and at first, it feels good. Oh, wow. You feel productive. You feel smart. You feel like, yes, today I learned 20 new words. But let me ask you something, and answer this honestly, not to me, but to yourself. After 1 week, where are those 20 words? After 1 month, how many of them are still alive in your mind? Exactly. They disappear, quietly, without noise, without warning. And then something dangerous happens. You start blaming yourself. You say, maybe my brain is slow. Maybe English is not for me. Maybe I'm too old. Maybe I started too late. But no one tells you that forgetting words is not your fault. It's the system. It's the method. It's the way you're noting words. Here's the painful truth. Your brain is not a storage box. It's not a cupboard where you throw words and expect them to stay forever. Your brain is more like a security guard. It asks one simple question every time you see a new word. Is this useful for my life or not? If the answer is no, your brain throws it out. No emotions, no regret. Just delete. That's why you forget words. Not because you didn't write them, not because you didn't read them, but because your brain didn't find a reason to keep them. Think about this for a second. You probably still remember words from movies you love, songs you listened to again and again, a sentence someone said to you in an emotional moment. Why? Did you write them 10 times? No. Did you memorize them from a list? No. You remember them because they were connected to something, a feeling, a moment, a situation. Your brain loves connections. Without connection, words are dead. But what do most learners do? They open a notebook. They write a word. Then they write the meaning in their language. Done. Close the notebook. That's it. No example, no feeling, no situation, no life, and then they are surprised when the word disappears. Honestly, that word never even entered your brain properly. It just passed by. Let me tell you a small story. A very common story. There was a student. Let's call him Ollie. Ollie had 3 notebooks full of English words. 3. Thick notebooks. Beautiful handwriting. Meanings written neatly. If you asked him, "How many words do you know?" he would proudly say, "Thousands." But when he tried to speak, nothing came out. Blank. Silence. Fear. His mind went empty. And you know what he said? "I know the words, but they don't come." No, Ali. You don't know the words. You only saw them. And this is where most learners get trapped. They confuse seeing with learning. They confuse writing with remembering. They confuse recognition with usage. Your brain works very differently. It doesn't care how beautiful your notebook is. It doesn't care how many pages you filled. It only cares about one thing. Can you use this word in real life? Here's another hard truth. Your brain is lazy. Yes, lazy. Not evil, not stupid, just lazy. It always wants to save energy. So if you give it information without effort, without thinking, without struggle, it says, "Okay, not important," and it deletes it later. But when you struggle with a word, when you think about it, when you imagine it, when you try to use it, when you fail with it, oh, your brain wakes up. It says, "Wait, this matters." Most English learners never struggle with words. They just copy meanings. And copying is the easiest thing. No effort, no thinking, no pain, and without pain, there is no memory. You might be thinking, "But I revise my words." Honestly? Do you really? Or do you just look at them again and say, "Yeah, I know this," and move on? That's not revision. That's comfort. And comfort kills learning. Your brain needs reasons. Reasons to keep a word alive. Reasons like, "I used this word today. I needed this word to express myself. This word helped me understand something." Without reasons, your brain throws words away like trash. So please understand this clearly. Forgetting words is not a weakness. It's a message. Your brain is saying, "You are not using this correctly." And if you listen to that message instead of fighting it, everything changes. In the next chapter, I'm going to expose the single biggest mistake people make when noting English words. A mistake so common that almost everyone does it. And once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. So stay with me, because now we're about to fix the foundation. Chapter 2. All right, now stay with me, because this is where many learners feel a little uncomfortable. And honestly, that's a good sign. Discomfort means your brain is waking up. The biggest mistake people make when noting English words is very simple, very common, and very dangerous. They write the word, and then they write the meaning in their own language. That's it. Finished, closed. Next word. It feels logical, right? You see a new word, you want to know what it means, so you translate it. Easy, fast, comfortable. But let me be honest with you. This habit is quietly destroying your English progress. Why? Because when you translate, your brain never learns the word. It only learns the shortcut. Think about it. You see the word improve. You write the meaning in your language. Every time you see improve, your brain doesn't think in English. It jumps back to your language again and again. So what happens? English never becomes natural. It always feels slow, heavy, forced, like walking with a bag of stones. Your brain starts depending on translation like a crutch. And a crutch is useful only when you're injured, not when you want to run. Here's the painful part. When you write meanings in your language, your brain says, "Good. I don't need to remember this English word. I already have the meaning stored somewhere else." So it deletes the English word and keeps the translation. That's why when you want to speak, the English word doesn't come. Only your language comes first. Then you translate. Then you hesitate. Then you panic. And then silence. Let me ask you something. Have you ever known the meaning of a word, but still couldn't use it in a sentence? Of course you have. Almost everyone has. That's because knowing a meaning is not knowing a word. A word is not a meaning. A word is a tool, and tools are useless unless you know how to use them. Another big mistake: dictionary meanings, long meanings, complicated meanings, 5 lines of explanation written in tiny letters. Honestly, your brain hates that, especially if you're a beginner. When your brain sees a long definition, it gets tired before it even starts. It says, "This is too much work," and it switches off. That's why beginners should never note dictionary definitions. Never. Not because dictionaries are bad, they're amazing, but because they are not beginner-friendly. They explain words for people who already know English, not for learners who are still building confidence. Your brain needs simple English. Very simple. Almost childish, clear, direct. One short idea. For example, instead of writing a long definition for the word avoid, you can write avoid equals stay away from. That's enough. Your brain can breathe. Your brain can understand. Your brain can remember. Now, here's another mistake: noting too many words. This one hurts the ego, so listen carefully. Learning 30 words a day feels impressive. It feels productive, but in reality, it's a trap. Your brain can't build relationships with 30 strangers in one day, but it can build a strong relationship with 3. Words are like people. If you meet too many at once, you forget everyone. But if you meet a few and spend time with them, you remember them deeply. Most learners rush. They want fast results. So they note every new word they see: social media, movies, articles, everything. And their notebook becomes a graveyard of dead words, written but never alive. And then there's this mistake: writing words without examples.
A word without an example is like a car without fuel. It looks good, but it doesn't move. Your brain understands words through situations, not meanings. It wants to see the word doing something, living somewhere, being used by someone. For example, if you note the word promise and only write the meaning, your brain feels nothing. But if you write a simple sentence like, "I promised my mother I will call her," suddenly the word has a face. a feeling, a place, and your brain says, "Oh, this is real." Most learners skip examples because they feel lazy or scared. They think, "My sentence might be wrong." Let me tell you something important. A wrong sentence is 100 times better than no sentence. Because your brain remembers mistakes. It learns from them. Perfection is not required. Participation is. One more silent killer. Copying words without speaking them. You write, you read, but you never say the word out loud. And then you wonder why your tongue freezes when you speak. Your mouth has never practiced. Your ears have never heard your own voice saying the word. Language is sound before it is writing. If your mouth doesn't know a word, your brain won't send it there when you need it. So let's pause here for a second. Breathe and be honest. If your notebook is full of word plus translation, long dictionary meanings, no examples, too many words, no speaking, then now you know why words don't stay. But don't feel bad. This is not failure, this is awareness. And awareness is power. Because in the next chapter, I'm going to show you a brain-friendly, beginner-safe, powerful way to note words. A way that works with your brain, not against it. And once you start doing that, forgetting words will no longer be your biggest problem. Chapter 3. Okay. Now relax a little because this chapter is where things finally start to feel clear. No pressure, no heavy rules, just understanding your brain and working with it, not fighting it. Let me say this first, very slowly. Your brain does not remember words. Your brain remembers experiences. That one sentence can change everything for you. When you learn a word the right way, your brain doesn't store it as a word. It stores it as a small moment, a situation, a feeling, a picture. That's why some words stay with you for years, and others disappear in hours. So now the question is simple. How do we turn a word into an experience? This is where the brain-friendly method comes in. And don't worry, it's not complicated. In fact, it's much easier than what you're doing now. Here's the rule. One word, one small system, not a list, not a paragraph. One living unit. When you see a new word, don't rush. Don't write it like a robot. Pause for a second and ask yourself, where can I see this word in my life? Let's take a very simple word, tired. Most people write tired equals translation, and that's where learning dies. Instead, you do this. First, write the word clearly, big, visible, like it matters, because it does. Then, write a very simple English meaning, not perfect, not dictionary, just clear. For example, tired equals feeling no energy. That's enough. Your brain smiles, it understands. Now comes the most important part, the part almost everyone skips. You add a situation. Ask yourself, when do I feel tired? After work, after studying, after walking, after thinking too much. So you write a small, real sentence. I feel tired after work. Is this sentence perfect English? Maybe yes, maybe no. But guess what? Your brain doesn't care. It cares that the sentence is yours. that it came from your life. Now, if you want to make it even stronger, and this is optional, add a small feeling. How do you feel when you're tired, annoyed, sleepy, angry, quiet? You might write, "When I'm tired, I don't want to talk." Boom. Now this word is alive. Your brain doesn't see tired anymore. It sees you. After work. Quiet. Low energy. That's memory. Now let me say something important. And please don't skip this part. You do not need to do this for every word you see. You only note useful words. Words you can use in daily life. Words you hear again and again. Words that help you express feelings, actions, problems, ideas. If a word is rare, fancy, or only for exams, leave it. Let it go. You are not collecting trophies. You are building a tool set. 3 strong words are better than 30 weak ones. Always. Now here's another powerful thing. Simplicity beats intelligence. Many learners think, if my notes are simple, I'm not learning deeply. That's wrong. Deep learning starts with simple understanding. If you can explain a word in very simple English, your brain truly understands it. If you can only explain it using big words or translation, your brain is confused. So don't be afraid of simple language. Simple language is not weak. Simple language is clear. And clarity is memory. Now let's talk about something very real. Fear. Many learners are scared to write sentences because they think, what if it's wrong? Let me tell you something honestly. Wrong sentences are gold. When you write a wrong sentence, your brain feels a little pain, and pain creates memory. That sentence stays longer than 10 perfect ones you copied from somewhere else. So please stop waiting to be perfect. Perfect English does not build confidence. Used English does. Another small but powerful tip. Say the word out loud. Every time. When you write the word, whisper it, or say it softly, or say it in your head if you must. But connect sound with meaning. Language lives in sound. If your mouth never touches the word, your brain won't send it there when you speak. Now imagine this method over time. Your notebook is no longer full of dead translations. It's full of small life moments. Your words start feeling familiar, friendly, close. One day you're talking, and suddenly a word comes out. No translation, no panic. It just comes. And you pause for a second and think, oh, I didn't translate that. That moment, that small moment, is progress. Real progress. But wait, there's something even more important. Even if you note words this way, they can still fade, unless you do the next thing. And in the next chapter, I'll show you how to make words stay longer. Without boring memorization, without pressure, without stress. So stay with me, because now you're learning the right way. Chapter 4. All right. Take a deep breath here because this chapter removes one of the biggest fears English learners carry silently. The fear of forgetting. Let me tell you something honestly. Forgetting words is not the enemy. The real enemy is how you react when you forget. Most people panic. They feel stupid. They give up. And that reaction trains the brain to hate learning. But your brain works in a very strange way. It doesn't grow when things are easy. It grows when you try to remember and fail. Yes, fail. That moment when a word is on the tip of your tongue, you almost remember it, but not fully. That moment is powerful. That's your brain lifting weight. And if you let it struggle for a few seconds instead of immediately checking your notes, your memory gets stronger. Most learners never allow that struggle. The moment they forget, they open the notebook, or they open Google, or they ask someone. Comfort, relief. But every time you do that, your brain learns one dangerous lesson. I don't need to remember. Someone else will remember for me. And slowly, your memory becomes lazy. So the first rule of making words stick is this: pause before checking. When a word doesn't come, don't run. Wait. Breathe. Give your brain 10 seconds, even 5 seconds. Say, come on, you know this. Sometimes it comes back, sometimes it doesn't. Both outcomes are fine, because even trying strengthens the memory. Now let's talk about revision. Real revision, not fake revision. Most learners think revision means reading the same words again and again. That feels safe, comfortable. But it's an illusion. When you read, your brain recognizes the word and says, yeah, I know this. But recognition is not memory. Memory is recall. Recall means pulling the word out without help. So instead of reading your notes, cover the meanings. Look at the word and ask yourself, what does this mean? Where did I use it? Say it out loud, even if you're alone, especially if you're alone. This might feel awkward at first. You might feel silly, but guess what? Awkwardness is growth. Another powerful trick: use words in tiny sentences, not long ones, just small, real ones. For example, if your word is decide, don't write a long paragraph. Just say, I can't decide today. Simple, real, useful. Say it again later in the day, in your head, in the shower, while walking. You don't need a classroom. Life is your classroom. Now here's something most people ignore. Time matters. Your brain forgets fast at first. That's normal. So you need to see the word again. Not 100 times in one day, but a few times over a few days. Today, tomorrow, after 2 days, after 1 week.
Each time the word sinks deeper, like pushing a nail into wood. One hit doesn't work, repeated hits do. But keep it light. Don't turn learning into punishment. 5 minutes is enough. 10 minutes is powerful. 1 hour is often useless because you get tired and your brain switches off. Short, regular, calm. Now let me talk about a very important emotional part: confidence. Many learners stop using words because they are scared of being wrong in front of others. So they wait. They say, I'll use it when I'm sure. But that day never comes. Confidence does not come from correctness. It comes from usage. The first time you use a word, it might feel wrong. The second time, a little better. The 10th time, it feels normal. That's how fluency is built. Quietly, repeatedly. Use your words with yourself first. Talk to yourself. Describe what you're doing, what you're feeling, what you're thinking. I'm tired. I don't like this. I need time. I will try again. These simple sentences build deep memory because they are connected to emotion, and emotion is glue for the brain. Another mistake people make is trying to learn when they are exhausted. If your brain is tired, angry, or stressed, don't force it. Memory doesn't grow in panic. Learn when you're calm, even for a few minutes. Now here's a small but powerful secret. Teach the word to someone else. When you explain a word, even badly, your brain organizes it. It says, "Oh, this matters." You don't need a student. You can explain it to a friend, or to your phone, or even to a wall. Sounds silly, but it works. Say, "This word means this, and I use it like this." That's it. By now you should feel something shifting. Learning feels lighter, less scary, more natural. But there's one more thing that can either help you or quietly confuse you. Your notebook itself. And in the next chapter, I'll show you how to organize your word notebook so it supports your brain instead of overwhelming it. Stay with me. You're doing better than you think. Chapter 5. Now let's talk about something that almost no one takes seriously, but it quietly decides whether you stay consistent or you quit. Your notebook. Yes, that simple thing you open and close every day. Or maybe you don't even open it anymore. And there's a reason for that. Your notebook is not just paper. It's a reflection of your mind. When your notebook feels messy, heavy, confusing, your brain feels the same way. And when your brain feels overwhelmed, it avoids learning. Not because you're lazy, but because it feels unsafe. Most learners think, as long as I write words, it's fine. But the truth is, how you organize your words matters more than how many words you write. Let me describe a very common situation. You open your notebook after 1 week. Words everywhere. No dates, no space, no order. Old words mixed with new ones. Some words you remember, some you don't. And suddenly your brain says, "This is too much." And you close the notebook. Quietly. Guilt stays. Learning stops. That's not discipline failure. That's design failure. Your notebook should invite you, not scare you. So here's the first rule. Space is not waste. Leave space. Empty lines. Breathing room. Don't try to fill every corner like paper is expensive. When words have space, your brain has space. And when your brain has space, it wants to return. Second rule. One word, one place. Don't write 5 words on one line. Don't rush. Give each word its own small area. It tells your brain, this word matters. It also makes revision easier. Your eyes know where to look. Your mind feels calm. Now let's talk about dates. Boring, right? Actually, powerful. Write the date when you note a word. Not because of discipline, but because time gives meaning. When you see a word again after a week and think, "Oh, I learned this on Monday," your brain connects memory with time, and that strengthens recall. Also, dates help you see progress. and progress creates motivation. Without progress, learners quit. Another important thing, categories. But wait, don't panic. I'm not talking about complicated systems, just simple groups. For example, daily life, feelings, actions, problems, mistakes you make often. When you group words, your brain creates shelves. Instead of random words floating around, your mind knows where to place them. Let's say you feel angry one day. Your brain goes, feelings section. Boom. A word comes. That's how speaking becomes faster. Now here's something very important. Your notebook does not need to be beautiful. This one is for perfectionists. Neat handwriting, perfect lines, color-coded pens. If that motivates you, fine. But if it slows you down, drop it. A messy notebook that you use every day is better than a perfect notebook you're scared to touch. Your notebook is not for Instagram, it's for growth. Now let me talk about something people rarely admit: fear of mistakes. Some learners leave pages empty because they think, I might write something wrong. So they wait, and waiting kills learning. Your notebook is the safest place to be wrong. No one is judging you. No one is correcting you. This is where mistakes are welcome. In fact, you should mark your mistakes, circle them, smile at them, because mistakes mean you tried. Another small but powerful habit: return to old words. Don't always move forward. Sometimes go back. Flip pages. Look at words you wrote 2 weeks ago. Some will feel easy. Some will feel strange. That's normal. When a word feels easy, your confidence grows. When a word feels strange, your brain wakes up again. Both are good. Now here's a gentle reminder. Your notebook should grow with you. In the beginning, your sentences will be very simple. That's perfect. Later, you might add another sentence under the same word, a new situation, a new feeling. That shows growth. Don't erase old simplicity. Respect it. It was the foundation. One more thing. Don't mix learning and judging. When you open your notebook, don't say, this is bad. Say, this is mine. Ownership builds consistency. By now, your notebook is no longer a graveyard of words. It's a living place, a safe place, a place your brain doesn't run away from. And now, the final step. Because even with good notes, even with good organization, there is one thing that turns noted words into real English: speaking. And in the next chapter, I'll show you how to turn your notes into confident English, slowly, safely, and without fear. Stay with me. You're closer than you think. Chapter 6. Now we're here, the most important part. And honestly, this is where everything either comes together or quietly falls apart. Because noting words is powerful. Organizing them is smart. Revising them is necessary. But if your words stay on paper, they will never become English. They will remain silent. And English is not meant to be silent. English is meant to be spoken, felt, used, even imperfectly. So let me say this very clearly, and please let it sink in. You do not become fluent by knowing words. You become fluent by using words while feeling uncomfortable. Most learners wait. They wait to feel ready. They wait to feel confident. They wait to feel good enough. But here's the truth. Confidence is not something you get before speaking. Confidence is something you get because you spoke. If you wait for confidence, you'll wait forever. So how do we start using words without fear? We start small, private, and safe. Your first speaking partner is not another person. It's you. Talk to yourself. Yes. I know it sounds strange, but it works. And deep down, you already do it, just not in English. Use your noted words to describe what you're doing. I'm tired. I don't want to go out. I need more time. I feel confused. Say them slowly. Say them quietly. Say them again later. These sentences are not impressive, but they are real. And real language builds real fluency. Now here's something important. Don't try to speak perfectly. Perfect English lives only in textbooks. Real English lives in broken sentences, pauses, mistakes, and courage. When you try to be perfect, your brain panics. When you allow yourself to be wrong, your brain relaxes. And relaxed brains learn faster. Another powerful habit. Think in English using your words. You don't need full sentences. Even small thoughts are enough. Instead of thinking in your language and translating, try this. Hungry arrow, I'm hungry. Late arrow, I'm late. Problem arrow, this is a problem. At first it feels slow. Your brain resists. It wants comfort. But slowly, something shifts. English stops feeling foreign. It starts feeling familiar. Now let's talk about real people. When you speak to others, don't try to show off vocabulary. Use the words you know well. Simple words, clear words, honest words. Fluency is not about sounding smart. It's about being understood. And here's a secret. People don't judge your grammar as much as you think. They judge your confidence, your tone, your effort. If you speak with courage, small mistakes don't matter. Now let me address fear directly. Fear of being laughed at. This fear has stopped more English learners than anything else. But let me ask you something. Have you ever laughed at someone for trying? Or did you respect them more? Exactly. People who laugh at effort are insecure, and you don't need their approval to grow. Now here's a beautiful thing. Your noted words are your safety net. Before speaking, quickly review 3 to 4 words. Think about how you might use them today. That's it. No pressure. And when a word comes out naturally, even once, pause inside and smile. That moment matters. That's progress. Another powerful habit. Repeat your own sentences. If you said something today, say it again tomorrow. Your brain loves repetition when it comes from you. I was tired yesterday. I was tired yesterday. I was tired yesterday. Now it's yours. By now, something should feel different. English feels less scary, more human, more possible. And let me remind you, fluency is not a destination. It's a process, a quiet, daily process. Some days will feel good. Some days will feel stuck. That's normal. Don't quit on slow days. Slow days are still days. if you keep noting words the right way, if you keep using them gently, if you keep speaking without waiting for perfection, English will grow. Not suddenly, not magically, but surely. And that's how real learners win. You're not behind. You're not late. You're finally learning the right way. And if you've reached this point, you've already proven something very important. You didn't give up. That matters more than any word you've learned.